Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Well, the governor recently came up with a 12-point plan to reform public pensions. And with us now is Senator Mimi Walters to take a look at his plan and to add to it. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So what is your impression off the top of his 12-point plan?
Well, I believe the governor has made some bold moves in his reform package on pensions. I think it's a step in the right direction, and I'm very encouraged.
What are the points that you agree with?
Well, he's looking at making the plan a hybrid plan where you take a defined benefit plan, which is what the state employees are on right now, and you couple it with a defined contribution plan, make it a hybrid. That will save the state some money. He's addressing pension spiking, which is an abuse that employees do right now, and he's addressing that to do away with pension spiking, another step in the right direction. And he's looking at the retirement age, at what age people should retire.
So these are steps in the right direction. It sounds like it deals with public pensions moving forward, but it doesn't address where we are right now with the unfunded liabilities. What would you like to see happen in that regard?
Well, the unfunded pension liability is an issue that we must address. Depending on what analysis you look at, there's either $100 billion to $500 billion in unfunded pension liability in the state of California. We need to look at that and address that, because what will happen is in the future, people who will be retiring, their pensions could be affected.
Is there any protection for people with these pensions who are depending on them in their future? Any legal right to the money that's in our state budget and potentially at the cost of other benefits to other people, considering health and education?
Well, they would be able to take it to court, of course. They would have a legal right to money, but it gets to a point where how much can the taxpayers afford? The taxpayers are the ones that are funding these pensions, and that becomes a big question mark.
Okay, so you've taken a look at the governor's plan. You have a number of bills that you have written to change pensions, and tell us a little bit about what you would do.
Well, actually, a lot of the bills that I introduced 10 pieces of legislation dealing with pension reform, and many of the same things that I introduced, the governor has looked at and has put in his plan.
So do you think that what his plan says and what your bills say are on equal footing, or have you seen the details of what could come of that?
Well, the devil is always in the details, and we have not seen the detailed language on the governor's proposal in each of his bills. So that's something that we will be looking at to see how that compares with the reform package that I have put forward. So it'll be interesting to see, though, if the governor will be able to get his proposal through the legislature, because the legislature may not be inclined to be as bold in their reforms as the governor is.
What are going to be the biggest points of opposition in reforming public pensions as they exist today?
Well, you have special interest in the state of California who are not going to like the pension proposal that the governor has put forward. And he's going to have to deal with, and the legislature is going to have to deal with the special interests to get their buy-in to this if it's going to pass. So
how would you compete with the special interests in getting your ideas forward?
Well, I'm on the side of the taxpayer, and I understand that we have to have reform, and I'm willing to take on the special interest to tell them that unless we have reform, their retirees are going to be affected in the future. And another thing that we must do is we must take these reforms to a vote of the people, so that the people are the ones that can make sure these changes take place. And if the change is to be undone, it's undone by the people.
And we could see this in the form of initiatives.
That's
on
correct.
The November ballot.
I think there's some initiatives being put forward right now.
Okay, Senator Mimi Walters, thank you very much.
Thank you
for being here. And thank you for tuning in. More HLN coming up right after this.